the one, the only, Benzion. Good afternoon. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today we learn Maseches Gittin Daf Tet Zayin, number 16. There's two opinions in the Gemara. The Gemara doesn't decide which one is the halacha. A lot of times the Gemara brings two opinions. Ika da Amri doesn't tell you who the halacha is like. It's up for the poskim to figure out who we paskin like. It's not clear who we paskin like. You have to bring proof why you paskin like one or the other. So the first opinion is that the beginning of the Masechta says when you come from Ninat Hayam, one person says V'fani nechtam. One person says it. He has to say it. Not only can he has to bring the get to base, and he also has to say V'fani nechtam. What about if two people come? In the case of our mission, one person says V'fani nechtam. When they come at the same time, or let's say both people are agents for the get, and they're about to say V'fani nechtam. Do they actually have to say the words V'fani nechtam? Why is it different over here? Because the main reason we pass like Rava ain't a between l'kaimo, right? The problem of kiyum stars. We're about the husbands are going to come and protest. We want to make sure that's not going to happen. So he's makayim, the person who says V'fani nechtam, he's makayim the star by testifying to that. Even though normally you need kiyum stars, you need two people. By getting one person is okay, like we explained yesterday. That really kiyum shtaros, but I added yesterday, even though one person is okay, because davar mimamon is not exactly a full gzeira shava, right? Lechatchila you need two people by arayos, but b'diavad one person eidach anema bisurin. However, you need, as opposed to dine mamanis, where Reish Lakish says eidem achasum lashar midoraisa. It's Kemoshe Nechra Yidus in a basin. It's like they're already investigated. We trust signatures without the Kiyum Shtar. Kiyum Shtar is only necessitated Midarabanan. By Gittin, it's Midoraisa. You need a Kiyum Shtar. I explained yesterday the reason you need a Kiyum Shtar by Gittin is because the Eidos of Gittin is less trustworthy. Because by Dinim Amanis, people want to make sure they make good Eidim. They want to be valid Eidim because the Eidim are proof that the loan happened. People with dinim mamanis want to make sure they get their money back. When it comes to Gittin and Kedushin, it's just a formality. It's Eidei Kiyum, not Eidei Raya, I explained yesterday. It's a formality, and therefore people are not so careful. So, therefore you need someone to verify that it's a good signature. You don't need two Eidim, because in certain aspects, it's less chomer, because we don't worry people are going to lie so much over here by Isser V'het. The dinim mamanis are worried people are going to lie, because it's a lot more on the line. But one person will be, you have to makayim the shtar. Now, according to the first opinion over here, if two people come, they don't say anything, that's a big problem, because kiyum shtaros over here is del right. So without it, it's nothing. The get is invalid. So according to the first opinion, it can't be like what I said yesterday. Therefore, I'd rather say, based on what I said yesterday, that the halacha follows the second opinion over here, that even if two people come, nonetheless, they still have to say v'fani nechtam. Why? Because it's not good enough. You need a kiyum of the shtar. You need someone to verify the signatures on the shtar. It's better with two people, but you still have to say it. That's why even if two people come, the fact that they're standing around ready to makayim, Rav didn't mean and therefore, if there's two people standing around who could verify it, well, wait. If the husband comes, they'll go and verify the signatures. No, you need it for the validity of the get to be a good get. It's possible get me the right unless it's verified by one person, and certainly if it's verified by two people, then it's okay. Then it's a good get. Now I want to bring you back to Rashi. Rashi on Daf Gimel and Aleph. The Gemara asks this question basically. The Gemara says, the Gemara is explaining, both according to Rabba and Rava. The Gemara says that because of Iguna, they're a Mekel, and they rely on one person. Even normally you should need two people, like Davar Darash and Mamo, like Mamonis, you need. Here they're a Mekel and rely on one person. So the Gemara asks, Hai Kulahu, Chomerhu. Right? If you're Makayim Ashtar, any Ashtari Mammon, even if the Baal Dover comes, the person who wrote the document, and he protests, no, it's a false document, right? Two Eidim, I always say, is 80% proof. It's not 100% proof, 80% proof. A Baal Davar, he has more reliability than two Eidim. That's very clear from the Gemara. The Gemara on Kedam and Aleph, the Gemara says that even if you have two Eidim on a shtar, if the Baal comes, he can be Ma'arer. That's why you have to But if you're Makayim the Shtar, then in front of a basin, a three basin is Neman 100%. They're Neman 100% more than the Baal Davar. So there's three rungs of Nemanas. You have the lowest rung of Nemanas is the Eidim, two random people. Then you have the Baal Davar, who someone's involved in the case, right? As long as we trust him to question the validity. Obviously, we don't believe him for everything. A person's no gea ba'atzam, but the question of validity, he at least has an opinion against two Eidim that are written in the shtar. But once you have a basin, that's 100% proof. They knock out the Baal. They're stronger than the Baal. So that's the Gemara asking over. If you had Trey in front of a basin, Kiyim Shtaros, the Baal can never ma'arer. But if you just rely on one person to say Vani Neta, so the person can be ma'arer. So the Gemara answers, Kevan Damar b'fnei kama nostala Rabbi Yochanan v'Chanina chamar b'fnei Shnayim v'chamar b'fnei Gimel mikara meidok dayak. The Gemara Machlokas Rabbi Yochanan v'Chanina on Daf Hey. When you do this transaction, he's bringing a get for Dinas Hayam. How many people, in front of how many people do you have to give the get to the wife from? In front of a basin of three or in front of two? It doesn't make a difference. Either way, the Gemara says Meidak Dayak. So what does Rashi say? What does Meidak Dayak mean? Rashi says he said two explanations on Gimel and Aleph. Towards the top, the fifth line, Rashi. Mikara Meidak Dayak, Hashliach, Kshemakalu Miyara Baal. The Shliach who brought it for Dinas Hayam, he's very careful. He's giving it in front of people, two or three people. It's going to publicize what happened. He better make sure that it's a good get. Otherwise, he's going to look really bad if the Baal would come and protest it. So therefore, since he has his reputation on the line, he's going to make sure it's true. And we're not worried the Baal would be ma'arer. But if the Baal would be ma'arer, he would be believed. That's according to the first Lashon Rashi. V'inami, a second explanation, Rashi, Orer Eino Neman, the Vadai Dakma Milsa Shapir. He says even more than this, that because the person who says Afani Nechtam has to give it in front of two or three people and doesn't want to ruin his reputation, so therefore, once he does this, it's a good Kiyum Shtar that even if the Baal would come in Ma'arer, it wouldn't be believed. That's a big Rashi. Rashi is saying something two opinions in Rashi, very different opinions, they were very weighty in a halacha, right? With the Baal, that's the question. It's a machlokas in 2 days in Rashi, whether the Baal would be, if a person says, and the Baal comes in Ma'arer, would it help afterwards or not? According to the first explanation, it's unlikely the Baal Ma'arer, but if he did, it would disqualify the get. According to the second Lashon, the Baal is not Neman anymore. And I believe that the real halacha is like the second opinion in Rashi. The Baal is not mehemen, because once he's Makayim the shtar, like I've said before, that the point of Rava is that you need to say Vani Nechtam, like the second Lashon on Ted Zion and Beis. You have to say Vani Nechtam. You have to be Makayim the shtar. Once you're Makayim the shtar midoraisa, it's 100% a valid document. Right? Just like if you're Makayim a dini mamis in front of Beis Din, right, and you it's validated in front of Beis Din, the Baal Davar can no longer make a claim. We don't listen to his claim that it's a false document. So too over here, once you're Makayim the shtar, it has to have the same validity as Kiyim Shtaros Da'alma. So therefore, it has to have the same validity. I believe the correct determination of Rashi, and he wouldn't be believed. The Baal would not be believed anymore once the person says he's Makayim. According to the he's Makayim. Still rice. He's Makayim the shtar. It's 100% valid shtar, and therefore the Baal afterwards can't come into Ma'arer. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.